Good evening. My name is Amelia Tyson, and my social problem is ageism. So, what exactly is ageism? It is the stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination against people based off their age. Ageism is widespread and has harmful effects on the elderly. Some different types of ageism include implicit ageism, which is when a person is unaware they are showing attitudes of ageism, such as speaking loudly to a senior. Institutional ageism is discrimination in places including housing, employment, mandatory retirement, and inappropriate care in institutional settings. Societal ageism is ageist language, age discrimination, age norms, and age segregation. The issue of ageism viewed through the person blame approach is by blaming the elderly due to their lack of ability and their age to carry out various tasks. For these reasons, a middle-aged person would get hired over someone who is elderly. The issue of ageism viewed through the system blame approach is by blaming the media for the way they portray aging. Through avenues such as late-night comedy shows or even anti-aging cream commercials, the media has painted negative stereotypes about aging, such as being out of touch, feeble, incompetent, and even irrelevant. My first article was titled Ageism Comes of Age. There are many reasons we should be concerned with ageism, such as everyone becomes vulnerable to ageism if they do live long enough. Ageism is a kind of social disease that is spread from person to person as well as generation to generation. A major issue of trying to reduce ageism is that it is ingrained in our American culture through movies, TV shows, books, jokes, our language, and even songs all tend to depict older people as being senile. Sadly, most people do not become aware of ageism until they grow old and suffer that discrimination themselves. My second article was titled Fighting Ageism. The number of Americans 60 and older are continuing to grow. However, society still isn't embracing their aging population. Many battle stereotypes of ageism and trying to obtain equal standing in the workplace. To make matters worse, ageism is also seeping into mental health care. Older patients are being viewed by healthcare professionals as set in their ways and unable to change their behavior. Mental health issues such as cognitive impairment often go unrecognized and untreated in this demographic, many researchers do believe. According to psychologist Becca Levy, PhD, not only are negative stereotypes hurtful to older people, but they may even shorten their lives. In her study of 660 people, 50 years and older, those with more positive self-perceptions of aging live 7.5 years longer than those with negative perceptions of aging. My third article was titled The Quiet Epidemic of Ageism. Ageism has not yet been eradicated and takes positive and negative forms, with negative forms being the more frequently encountered. In numerous talks at high schools, they began by asking students basic questions, such as how many seniors live in long-term care facilities. More than 4 students in 5 estimated that 90% of seniors live in institutions, even though their recent studies show that 5 to 10% of Canadian seniors live in collective facilities. The students also overestimated the number of older people with cognitive and physical illness and the frequency of traffic accidents involving elderly. Education may be the beginning of an answer to the question of how to eradicate the continuing quiet epidemic of ageism. So how can society remedy ageism? Society can remedy this issue by changing the way American culture views elderly through media. The media affects how we view things such as ageism through the movies, TV shows, and even commercials we watch. We see anti-aging commercials, TV shows, and movies that stereotype the elderly by showing them being forgetful, terrible with technology, feeble, and slow learners. If the American culture stopped showing the elderly in this light, then ageism would not be such an increasing issue as it is today. And these are my 5 references. Thank you for viewing my slideshow.